Yeah, so panel discussion. So there are the six presenters with Takashi sensei, Suzuki sensei as well. Then uh, I prepared a lot of questions, but due to the time constraint, maybe we can go through one or two. So yeah, just let's start with what do you think about other people's presenters? Actually, a lot of discussions are already flowing in the comment, but I want to hear about everyone today. Which part of the presentation most resonated with you, or just what's the most eye-opening, or what's the like empathy with other presentation, or what's the impression, what's the takeaway for you? So, who wants to start?
Okay, Masaki, I'd like to point out the one things concerning your questions. I found some common keywords among the presentations. That is, there are two keywords, and maybe that is common word for this kind of future thinking. One is narrative, and the another one is a mindset. I think the narrative is quite important to form the mindset of the so-called to the students. We are talking about we are rather focusing on some educational aspect of this future design. So maybe Nadia talks about some narratives, and also the another keyword from the Nadia's presentation, which interests me a lot, is calibrated curiosity. That keyword is very, I think it's hit me a lot. So I'd like to ask Nadia to talk a little bit more about the calibrated curiosity. Maybe it is very related to forming the mindset, or also kind of narratives. Could you add some comment on that?
Thank you so much, Prof. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I find it's such a privilege that you singled out those keywords. I also feel quite strongly about them. I'm passionate about it. I think the reason why I put the word calibrated together with curiosity is that sometimes when our students are tasked to imagine, to envision, they tend to get quite intimidated by that task. And I feel that for many, many years as a child is naturally curious. But as the years of schooling, formal education come by, they feel like as if they have got less time to really imagine and be curious because of the rigidity and the rigor of maybe formal education. No fault of any education system, but it's just that the time to explore, the time to curious is no longer kind of like there, and they're impeded and intimidated. So the calibrated curiosity, I feel, is like as if it's our scaffolding, it's our guidance, it's almost like our guardrails to tell them that, hey, this is a psychologically a safe kind of like net for you to explore, for you to be curious about. So whether it's a sandbox kind of like model, or whether we say that it's all right, it's safe for you to explore and imagine and be curious and then fail at it, it's also okay. And that your curiosity may lead to a point where it's different from others. So the question starters kind of like help the students to calibrate their amount of curiosity, that it could go big one moment, it can be small another moment. And yeah, I love the fact that you also talk about the mindset. And I feel that because I empathize with the students, I know that they may think that future's not for them, design's not for them. I've got students come up to me and say, Prof, I'm not studying design. Why am I doing this? So the challenges could be like multiple fold, like different stakeholders, including the students themselves. But I want the student to be able to see, to shift that mindset that they can afford to be curious again. And if they could calibrate that capacity, they'll get somewhere wonderful that they'll feel that it's also surprising for them. Yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I understand a bit better.
Mm.
Masaki, you are muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, a lot of question, like keywords like curiosity, questions, exploration, like no answer. But like have a guardrail, sandbox, guardrail for the like exploration is really important. Yeah, as Takashi Sensei say, yeah, common topics for us. So yeah, I also think this is very like a key takeaway for me. But anyone else want to jump
Can
in?
I just, yeah, can I just ask everyone, like, on that kind of a subject of guardrailing or curating curiosity? Um, I think it's a challenging in some ways to facilitate students to how to imagine in various cases, especially in different context of culture and traditions and also locality, because I find that so the project that I ran that I presented today was in Korea, but currently I'm located in India, in Bengaluru, and I've been teaching here for last six months. And introducing the concept of speculation and speculative design and futuring and future thinking and also future literacy itself is quite different thing in the context of their lives and so on, because they live a very different lives here than in countries like Korea. Because I think countries like Korea, Japan, and like China and that region, the society has been quite westernized and modernized well, whereas a large part of society in India is still kind of rooted in their own traditions and very much different from uh, uh, any other society. And that kind of challenges you to like introduce these concepts, because the speculative design, speculative concepts are um, mainly, developed in a environment where that this societal structure is very defined, right? So how do you facilitate this future thinking in a different environments and different locality? Is kind of the question that I am struggling with, and also I'm kind of throwing out there to like see like what kind of challenges do you face, and also um, what kind of foresights we need to have as a educators in order to introduce future literacy.
Luis, are you raising hands for that?
Yeah, I want to add on to something related to the calibrated curiosity. I think from my experience of lecturing, teaching in the school, I feel like the education system is getting into this, how to say, the utilitarian, even as the students, right? And as we talk about something, and especially when I was in the classroom, and student would ask me about like, what's the problem? What's the challenge are we going to solve, right? So we go straight ahead into this problem solving process. But actually, I think as the student graduate from school, as they get into the society, right, there's no such a clear objective. There's no such a clear problem you're gonna solve, right after graduating. So that I think that's the conflict. Even this thing's gonna be accelerated by the artificial intelligence, right? There's no such a existing occupation or jobs when they graduated from school. I think that's a huge issue, but I think design futures or future design would give them this kind of space to explore before jump into the objective. So that's my comment. Yeah.
How would you, so creating this kind of environment where we can actually let the students to like go into this kind of thinking. How would you, I mean, how do you think we can cultivate this kind of environment?
Yeah, I think I think that's a good question. Also, I have the similar question in the comment as well. I think how can we first of all, how can we have a school curriculum system that can have this, for example, the future design across this different discipline, right? I think
Yeah.
that's part of the thing. And also, how can we expose the value of design futures or future design um, to students, to the professors, right? Because I was often asked this question, okay, so as we talk about future thinking or future design, we talk about empathy, we talk about openness or uh, curiosity, such as things. This has already been developed in other uh, existing curriculums. Why should we have this future thinking or future literacy standalone? That's the question I was faced. And also, um, like I said, we need to collaborate with the decision makers to let them realize, okay, this, we need to have this kind of space before we get into the problem solving stuff. Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah. I mean, talking about the policymakers, so one thing that I could take away from the project that I facilitated, they were quite surprised by the design outcomes because they weren't expecting the specificity or the details that were the students were presenting to them. And I think the concept of future literacy in their mind, because they use the term future literacy in their discussion, is is more conceptual than actualized. And I think the role of design is to like bring that down to a reality and really showing them what can be possible. I think that's a one way to kind of convince the people who are making decisions and the policies around the education as well.
Chao, do you want to jump in?
Yeah. Well, I guess I have a really old answer for this. Maybe not answer. I guess read a lot. I was a huge science fiction fan when I was little, especially Ni Kuang, uh, who is a Cantonese science fiction writer. He wrote a lot of amazing science fiction stories. And I think because of that, it empowers me to think about things with no limits, with no limitations. And students who major in design, I imagine they like animations, comic books, all these kind of things. But when they enter college, we don't encourage them to continue down to that road. So, please do read Doraemon. Please do read a lot of comic books, a lot of science fictions, because it really does help. I mean, I think as a teacher, teaching tools is not quite useful anymore, because now you can go on YouTube to learn anything you want. But how to light up students' curiosity is the key point right now. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think, to adding to original Brand ask about the locality and also like a curiosity, which these I think the like a sanctuary space of like a human have, like not AI can like penetrate it. So I mean, like if we can ask AI now, AI answer anything about, oh, okay, so what's the problem statement on climate challenge or something like that. But I think like this like a climate crisis, this like global level problem statement versus like what happening in your region, in your neighborhood. It's like manifested differently in like each geolocation or each neighborhood, even if we talk about the climate crisis. So maybe this like capturing your local problem, what's happening in your local neighborhood, capturing this type of capturing this locality is really like an important skill for futurists. I feel like not like creating generic future scenario, right? So I think like a lot of futurists think sometimes I feel like many futurescape, future images like a similar, like a cyber or green or harmonized stuff like that. But I think like Japan, Korea, China, every environment is different. Every like facing problem is different. So maybe yeah, like your deliverable of future family, like a Korean family of the future and Japanese family of the future is also different. So maybe this like locality is like an important flavor of the true speculative design, I feel.
So talking about the locality, I think like I mean those two are so talking about locality and talking about AI. I think those two are kind of opposing forces right now that's kind of playing a role in speculative design space because we all are talking about using AIs to kind of facilitate our imagination as well, right? And relying on traditions to like really root ourselves, our thinking into our own culture and making it relevant for us. So my question kind of I'm kind of thinking and also I'm kind of throwing this idea out there is how do we kind of you know play with these two things and how do we kind of merge them together in our practice or in our educations?
Yeah, that's also I think imagine like a topics from this event. I feel like a lot of folks talk about AI and leverage AI to create the future scenarios. So I think, yeah, still there's no answer here, but I think, yeah, how we leverage AI is in speculative design context is, I think, emerging topic for us. So, Suzuki Sensei, do you wanna jump in?
Sorry, I also want to have one comment about the locality and AI. The first is the locality. So today I explain about the free energy principle from the recognition. And so if we have the new information and our knowledge, if there is a very big gap, that is not good for the human being. So we want to reduce the gap. So it means that if the gap is too large, that is like we feel anxious and fear. So if we like considering about the locality, so maybe the neighborhood is the not too big difference. So that's why like today, like the Japanese, Korean, and Chinese Taiwanese culture is, we say that very similar. We have a difference, but it's similar. So that means that we can kind of acceptable of the culture. So, but like more like different place, the locality is very, very different from us. So then we feel it's very surprised. So that is not easy to handle. So I feel that is my thinking, but it is better to like design this kind of like workshop is to consider who is joining us and that it's not too different, but a little bit different is better. So then we can make it a good speculative design or some design in that. And for the AI, so even for me, the progress in the AI is too quick, and I cannot imagine in like 3 months later. So then we cannot make like the design even like the 3 months. So then I thought that like someone said that like SF and like animation is very good. So in Japan, we have the Doraemon is a very old animation. So like if we can like imagine that like in near future there's a like the environment of the Doraemon, so we can make any kind of the tool. So then what design we should do in the future. So then I can like come up the idea more. So that is good for me. So maybe it is good for others too. So that is my comment. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like traditionally SF manga or movie was or have been the driver of the inspiration. So maybe AI currently jumping into this space for the new driver of the inspiration. But I think the important point is like through these like anime or tangible prototype manifesting future some in some ways, it's like a more creating more inspiration, then further exploration happening. So maybe this like not just verbal communication, but like manifesting something, like creating something is, I think, still remain the strong driver for the inspiration, I feel. Grace?
Yeah, I want to tackle this topic more on the locality. I think the most important thing to have this locality in mind is just like we get offline to more often, right? We get this person-to-person connection, right? And we have this space to slow. I think some speaker just mentioned about we deliberately slow down our life, right? We have more space to think, to explore, to how to say the self-exploration rather than just being pulled by the wave of technology, right? Everything is getting accelerated. But we need to have this capability on purpose to slow it down so that we can have this future, right?
Right.
That's my answer. Yeah.
Nice. All right, so we are almost at time. So today we have many educators here. So I want to have one more question here, like yeah, here. So still like this design lead, speculative design is really minor field, and there's no like official like speculative designer. There's no official job in the industry. So what kind of careers are opening up? Or maybe like a new jobs title will be coming up for student. What do you envision for or what kind of careers your current students move forward?
Masaki-san, do you want to tell us like how do you get your job?
My situation was very like unique. I was in the like a COVID time, everything locked down. Then at that time, like some companies in the US searching for the people who can envision the post-COVID post-COVID and positive scenario, which is like a future storyteller, not just storyteller, but some type of this like a strategic type of people. So that's a good fortune for me to like fit in this job. But yeah, I want to hear the case in Taiwan, China. Yeah, what's the situation?
Yeah, I'm gonna go first. I think a lot of private enterprise should just jump in. For a multi-million corporation, they can offer a position or two for people to envision about what they are doing in the future. But the problem is now the job market, they offer a job title and want you to fit it to that title. But a lot of time, what we are doing, there is no current job description for us. It doesn't necessary that the world or the future doesn't need us. It's just that if the corporation are willing to jump in, and eventually both sides will figuring a way out of it, and not just only private sector. I think government, think tank, all kinds of enterprise or units should be able to willing to accept there will be a dreamer or a magic maker or featuring artists in their team and see what can he or she do. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I'll quickly have a comment on this. Maybe they'll all become educators. I'm just joking. Because all we ended up educators, and we all. But anyway, but it's interesting to see how like a Masaki-san and how like there's a trend where uncertainty is driving all these companies to seek certainty in the future, right? So they're creating this job titles like a future and and future thinkers in their corporation. So I'm sure there'll be people or the corporations or organizations looking for this certainty because it looks like the world's going to be more uncertain in the future, and perhaps that's the driving force we can actually rely on to see how we can play a role in that.
Yeah. Luis, you are also doing like a self-business as a futurist, so I'm curious.
Yeah, I would say the future is itself my hard to be a job. I mean, overall, even in the large corporation, just as someone just mentioned about this, we don't need dreamers nowadays in this global economic downturn, right? But my point is, I think first of all, I think there is a trend nowadays in China. We talk about super individuals in the context of AI. So before we say we can't achieve something by ourselves, but nowadays it could happen, right? With the technology, with the tools, with this the low vibe coding, and so we say this one person company will definitely come true. Then the next question is what kind of product market fit would you trying to fulfill, right? I think that's the essential topic, right? What kind of job or what kind of position can we create that can exchange the values with the market, with the consumers, with the business? I think that's the key. And also before something, what I learned from is the book called Designing Your Life, I think by the Stanford professor. There's an exercise actually is talking about how can you write down your ideal job description that could not be existing in the reality. And then you try to find it in the reality based on your job description. I think that's also something quite helpful. But overall, I think nowadays the options of occupation is diminishing in the society because of this economic condition. But on the other side, I think there are plenty of opportunity because we can imagine, we can create the jobs belonging to us ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Zio, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, just want to follow up the one person company, the idea. So because I would teach such class for our students, so I think there will be more like this entrepreneur because the AI is very easy to use, and even for our third year students, they can use the agent to create the tools. So I think because the AI, the technology is easy to access, so many people can be the like curator, can be the director, and we say it's a strategic designer or full stack designer. So this could become true, and even for the robot technology, so it's grow like very fast. I think the new technology bring more opportunity for our like students. But the most important thing is because the technology AI is very easy to use, and we need to rethink how to create the new like social technology system. So this bring the new opportunity for us. Because AI can learn from the original like knowledge, but if you create some like new knowledge, so it's still the the role for the people. Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, and also like entrepreneurship is really a little bit, I think, really fit with speculative design mindset because like creating new meanings, a new value
Yeah.
in the society. So, all right, thanks. So we are almost at time. So we have still continuous discussion. Maybe we need to have another session, or we want to have any like following podcast series, or yeah, we wanna plan in the future, but we need to close out this session today. Yeah, I have a lot of questions waitlist here, but so thank you for every presenter and every audience until the end. So closing, then yeah, today we have 6 fantastic presenter based in Asia. But maybe next chapter we wanna do other regions as well: Europe, North, South America, Africa, Oceania. Yeah, every field, or Middle East. Every like if we focus on different region, maybe different topic, different context emerge, which we were want to create this type of discussion as rewarding in this century. So yeah, for today's audience, if you are interested in the joining or lecturing next session, please let me know and keep in touch. Like we want to keep this community vibrant, so please keep in touch. We will create some place to stay connected continuously. So, Taka-sensei, do you have any final comments?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you again. Thank you very much for all the presenters participating in these occasions. And as Masaki said, that this is only the first beginning of this kind of network. So I hope and I wish we keep in touch and connected, and to hold next rewarding meeting, hopefully near in the future. Thank you very much again, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.